Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back to episode 4 of Endless Night Harderloper. I suppose I should call it Extra Harderloper, because we did tweak a few things since the last time we played Harderloper. Anyway, we managed to hunt a moose in the last episode. We also got our hands on a storm lantern. It's not the Spelunker's lantern. It's not the more fuel-efficient variant, but having it is going to help a lot in saving matches in the future. We'll be able to loot a building without resorting to lighting a torch every time we want to do it. In today's episode, we're gonna start with our trip to Ash Canyon. Very perilous, very dangerous. There's even a cougar that I have to avoid on the way out of the region. It won't be easy, but we'll put our best foot forward, we'll trust our instincts, and we'll try to make it through. Let's begin. Okay. Alright. Yeah, it's perfect conditions for us to travel. It's cold, but we have good illumination. And I did decide that I'm going to take the new way into Ash Canyon. We're going to try it out, try to figure it out, try to see if it seems easier or harder than the typical means of entry that I would normally take. Hey, Blastmaster. It's been a hot minute. I'm glad to see you. How are you doing? I am having a great day so far. I can't complain, buddy. I hope that you are also having a pleasant Sunday. I'm going to open the far window. Give me a second here. Alrighty. I think we're well packed for the journey. Got a lot of matches, tinder, coal. We have some birch drinks, birch teas. I could take a couple more. We have 2 stims for emergencies. I could use another couple of bandages too. There we go. Little extra precaution. We're going to try to maintain our well-fed bonus while we travel. It'll be hard, but we'll give it a shot. I have 6 more arrows. 3 arrowheads in here. We lost 1 arrow and a wolf in the last episode, but that's okay. Deposit one of those coffees. And I don't exactly think we need that many cattails. We'll deposit some. We'll take that stuff. I'm sure we'll find more food along the way, and I'm definitely going to be bringing some of our moose meat. Yeah. Alright. Okay. Well, if it wasn't for the well-fed bonus, I couldn't take this much meat. We have rope climbs to do. I appreciate that, buddy. Kindred spirits, if you will. I'm glad that you're here. And I'm glad that you resonate with it. Hopefully those health cookies, too. You check those out, take a cold shower once in a while. Any games you've been particularly fond of, I could try to play more of them. I was thinking about going back to Abiotic Factor again. I kind of stupidly got myself killed in that. And the series was going well, but there's no saying it couldn't go well again. Alright, let's take a drink. And let's head out. The wildlife scent detection range is pretty amped up. We're gonna have to worry about that on the way. And get comfortable, buddy, because I'm gonna keep doing what I do. And you can keep being there with me all through it. Even if not in the streams while they're live. You can share the adventures with me after, right? Hopefully we don't come face to face with that bear. Another wolf. "7 days, Monster Hunter Green Hell, DayZ, right on." I've been waiting to watch you suffer. Well, buckle up. We got a lot of suffering to get through today, buddy. I'm happy to see you, Lee. I hope you're having a good Sunday, full of rest and relaxation. Oh, Blastmaster. Right on, buddy. Welcome to the pack. Your first membership. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to put you, gladly, into the description of this stream to give you thanks for the support for the channel. I really appreciate that, buddy. Okay, right on. I'm gonna put you into the stream description, too. Bless you, buddy. Thank you for the support. It goes a long way. Alright, there we go, buddy. Every stream I do from this point forward, for as long as you're a paying member, you're going to be in the description, and I'll give thanks properly in that way. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh. This is where we hunted that moose in the last episode. This is going to be a very difficult road, no two ways about it. A shitload of raw moose meat and fat over there, but I couldn't take it. Maybe we'll grab some and take it back to base on the way home, huh? I haven't taken too much health damage yet, but it'll ramp up the longer I spend freezing, and since it's always nighttime, we're always gonna be freezing. There's not enough birch bark in the world to restore that condition loss, but we'll try our best. Holy shit. I can't believe I got around him. Yo, there's 2 deer carcasses right here. That's 2 easy hides. We're coming up on a cave now, but I don't know how secure I feel going into that cave when we got a wolf tailing us. Right on, buddy. Right on. It sounds like a wonderful morning and a beautiful start to a great day. Hey, you have a good time at church, old fart. It's good to see you, buddy. We're having a pretty good time. Already having a good time. Got a new member of the pack. And we're making our way to Ash Canyon. Hopefully when you get back, I'll still be alive and I'll have the technical backpack and possibly even the ballistic vest from the penitentiary. We'll see. I might be able to lose the wolf, but I do have a scent rating. We'll just keep moving. I did lose the wolf, but I don't want to stop there. There's a better place we can stop and rest. The transition cave that connects Timberwolf to Ash Canyon. I'm gonna have to save up my stamina for this climb, though. We're coming up on a rope climb. My streams are like movies, right on. That's what I go for. Hell yeah. That's why I love permadeath games. You can fully immerse yourself in the story, right? Fully immerse yourself in your adventure as it unfolds. When your first death is your only death, every decision matters that much more. And you say you like Green Hell. I notice I have a Green Hell series that I haven't really been continuing. Maybe I should. I remember in the last episode we repaired the bamboo bridge. And we gained access to a new region. Easier access to it. Alright, let's do this climb. Alright, this is the transition cave that's gonna get us into Ash Canyon. I've never taken this way into the region before. I've only ever used this as my way out. Alright. Many branching paths. I don't know where the dead end is. Here it is. Good. I chose correctly. We've eliminated a pathway. Now we continue to the exit. Although there may be more branching paths. Hell yeah. The only gripe I have are those Diablo and Path of Exile. Are they online only or can you play offline? Because my worst fear is playing like hardcore World of Warcraft and then you go link dead and disconnect and you die because of it. Blizzard doesn't even roll back characters for that. Like they won't give you your character back. It's crazy. I mean, I suppose it's because if they did, they'd set a precedent and then everyone would abuse that to get their character back even if they died fairly, but... Alright, what do we got? You coal. Found a cooking pot. I can tell carried weight is gonna be a problem. But we don't need to keep everything we're gathering, and we will be shedding some weight as we eat food and drink water. Okay. Oh, we're gonna have a big rest before we leave this cave. Alright, looks like that's the exit. Let's eat up and rest. We have some health to try and recover. Dead side, eh? Daisy and rust mixed. Wait a second. Oh, I'm thinking of surround dead. Yeah. But dead side sounds familiar. I think I've seen it on the Steam homepage. Alright, we have our bedroll. Let's head out. We got an Aurora. It does mean travel's gonna be more dangerous. Damn it. 2 wolves already. The welcoming party. Having the increased range on scent detection is definitely changing the game for me here. I can totally tell that they see me and start gravitating from much further away. There is a lot of birch bark here, but I suppose I can either try to grab it on the way in or the way out of the region. I am gonna start a fire. Do I have an accelerant? I do not. I guess it depends on whether or not I need the fire. We'll see how easily accessible the birch bark is. Jesus, okay. We got 3 birch bark. It's a good start. Another birch forest right here. Let's see what we can come up with. I see 2 pieces already, 3 pieces. We did great getting extra birch bark here. I kind of spaced and completely forgot that there was a whole bunch of birch bark in this area. Beneficial. So really, when I think about it, this is probably my favorite place to get birch bark. Because when you're in Timberwolf Mountain, you have to worry about the cougar in the nearby birch bark forest, right? So at least here, you can come here relatively safely and grab a whole bunch. Hello, FA. Good to see ya. This game name is The Long Dark. It's a survival simulator in the northern Canadian wilderness where it's always cold. You'll have to contend with wildlife, unpredictable weather, and engage in resource management while trying to travel across the world, learn the regions, learn the geography, and secure your own long-term survival. It's got a really high difficulty ceiling too. You can... God, it's still hard for me. And I've been playing for like 2,000 hours. We've almost made it to the fishing hut, and I have to admit there were far less wolves to get around going the way that I took, and there was more birch bark to collect going the way that I took. It was great. I think I will use that way every time from now on when entering Ash Canyon. Alright, the fishing cabin should be up here somewhere. This is horrendous weather, but all things considered, we didn't lose that much condition getting here. There's the cabin. Hello, Sheeby. It's good to see you, buddy. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a good Sunday. Alright, we've made it to shelter. Such as it is. At least it's warm. I got some simple tools. Important that we got those. I can use it to repair the hacksaw for when the time comes that we finally summit Timberwolf Mountain. A little bit of firewood, second cooking pot, pack of matches, cooking oil, dog food. Another, oh god, we got 2 packs of matches here, which is extraordinarily fortunate. Alright, I think that's everything. I'm gonna have to start eating some of this processed food. We are over encumbered and we will have rope climbs that we have to do. But I also have a surplus of coal that we don't need. I can reduce my weight by processing 7 new prepared birch bark. I'm having a wonderful day today, buddy. Honestly, pretty happy day. Yeah, me and Zuzi had a beautiful morning. Alrighty. Okay, I get you. I hear you. $40 kilograms. As long as I burn through some of our food here, we'll be alright. Let's drop the cans. I no longer need them given that we've looted 2 cooking pots now. Okay. Maybe I should press on for now. Just warm up and continue moving. There's a cave we gotta get to. We can rest in that cave. The weather is horrible. Visibility to match. Yeah, we're gonna stay here a little bit. I made a judgment call. Now, where's the bed? Right here. I don't like sleeping when it's not for 10 hours, because then you're wasting condition recovery. And when you have low condition recovery, that hurts, but it's the only easy way to pass the time. Wow. Right on. El Suavo. Okay. Take a drink. I'm gonna need to prepare new water soon. And we have to start eating some of that moose meat, too. Hopefully the weather's better now. More conducive to travel. It is at least a little bit. You know, the visibility's not nearly as terrible as it has been. We're coming up on a major choke point with several wolves guarding the passage. It's going to be very dangerous to head through there. It always is when you don't have the ballistic vest to protect you. Oh god, and we stink too. We got the scent rating going on. That scent rating Riz that attracts everyone for miles. Good morning, Mary. 9 months. You're almost at that orange star. Right on. I hope you're enjoying your time off and having a wonderful Sunday. I'm excited for more Dismantle tonight, guys. That game was actually pretty fun. 3 hours went by in the blink of an eye, and then I realized, wow, I haven't even had a smoke for the past 3 hours. You know? It's actually pretty fun. Engaging. And after spending so much time in the pitch dark here, it's a wonderful reprieve to have all the bright, vibrant colors. I'm happy to see you again, Mary. We gotta go behind this waterfall, and then we gotta climb up a cliff face. They must have removed this backpack from the Interloper loot table. I never see this backpack here anymore. There used to be a backpack there. Typically empty, but still. Oh, don't sweat it, Lee. You know what? You might end up getting a gifted. Keep up the hope. You get that gifted and you can keep up in the race. I'm really curious to see who the first orange star is gonna be. That's something that, like, you never forget. It's a milestone. Alright, can we get up here without me spraining my ankle? Good, we did. This is gonna suck, by the way. I might have to kill like 3 wolves or get killed by them trying. I might get cornered here, unless I'm fast enough getting out. There's a wolf over there to my left. I don't like this. Okay, it looks like we made it past the most dangerous part of the choke point. But we might still get ambushed from the front. Let's keep our head in a swivel. we're gonna have to engage in some prime time inventory management. We have the well-fed bonus, and thank God we do. It's helping a lot. Also, once we get the technical backpack, we don't have to worry as much about carry weight, but as of right now, we are over-encumbered. And I need to produce new water soon, so... True enough, buddy. So Farf is a day or two ahead? God damn. He's gonna be the first orange star. It is gonna be a big week, yeah. Those orange stars, man, gonna change the game. That's when we become like a fully established channel, you know? When the loyalists are known. Alright, let's take off all of our clothing. We don't want it to start freezing if it gets wet. Okay. And let's get dressed again. I'm gonna turn off the lantern. And I'm gonna make sure that we have the warmest clothing on the outer layer. We're good. Okay. One thing I wonder, can you like jimmy the system? Can you buy yourself 12 months of membership and then instantly get an orange star skipping red and yellow? I don't actually know the answer to that question. For firewood, coal. I think I can technically reach the gold mine without doing a rope climb, but there is a short rope climb that I have to do. I can do it twice to bring everything with me. And then the rope climb, oh, but it's getting back. I need to go around the location where the cougar is instead of through it. That's imperative to my success, so... Oh, you can't, huh? Alright, let's get some stamina back. It'll help us to conserve lantern fuel. Yeah, once it's over, buddy. You'll get through it. And you'll be much better off for it, right? I'm definitely gonna have to leave behind a bunch of coal, but we've consolidated it all here, pretty much. Alright. Don't need those. We have a lot of weight that we need to shed, man. I'm just gonna eat this ruined dog food now. If I get food poisoning, then we'll just, treat it, rest up. Yeah, we got it. Okay. We got a reishi tea here that we can drink for it. Treated. I'm gonna need 10 hours of rest. Food poisoning is healed. Dick cheese is congealed. Nasty. Okay, this is definitely going to take 2 trips. Definitely. Alright. Let's get up here. It is a very short rope climb. Doesn't take long at all. I can leave a little stockpile of items here. I just want to make sure I'm leaving them on flat ground. I don't want any surprises. Oh, I'd imagine we should even be able to pick up, like, all of the coal. All the coal. With the amount we just dropped. Okay. Yeah, honestly, if I can avoid leaving this stuff behind, I would like to. The camping security alone is important. We have to take the long way back. Like, the way that we took to get to the gold mine is the way that we have to take to get back after we leave, because there is a quicker way I could take, but it leads me directly through a cougar path. And the cougar will kill me. 100% it will. It's killed me several times in the past. Several times. I'm sure a lot of you in chat remember those 2 attempts that were cut short because I tried to get through that cougar. Yeah, I was bullheaded. I wanted to find a way through it. I had to go around it. There was no other way. There's a wolf carcass here and a backpack. A soda. Hopefully I find some research material soon, because that'd be a great way to consume some calories and shed some of the moose meat. Hello, Varamos. It's good to see you. How are you doing on this fine Sunday? Okay. 41 kilograms carried. Lots of fire fuel for camping. We got 3 packs of matches. No, 2. In the fishing cabin. This is not going to be an easy trek. But we'll get it done. Very poor visibility conditions. I'm probably going to start a fire. Since we have so much coal, I'll start a fire and produce a couple of hot drinks. Hang on. The carpenter tools. I'm supposed to get those. We'll get them on the way back. We're coming back here after we're done getting the technical backpack. It'll be a lot easier if I get that stuff after we're done. I think it's over there, right outside of the cave. But we're gonna have to watch out for a wandering bear near there. And I'm gonna have to get saplings here. All in all, a very difficult inventory management situation. I remember in our previous playthrough, I was all hyped. We found the combat pants that we needed up there at the miners area. I was getting all worried that we wouldn't find them, but we did, eventually. We're definitely getting maple saplings. Yeah, with this maple sapling right here, I've now unlocked the ability to craft a travois. We have 3 curing at home. This 4th one means that we can now craft it. Carrying a lot of goods over long distances will become much easier. With me, same thing. We're having a wonderful Sunday, Varamos. Wonderful. Me and Susie had a beautiful morning. Caught a little bit of sunlight. Yeah, we're having a good time. The community's vibing, chilling. We're having a blast. God, this bridge is sus. I don't think I've ever fallen off one of those bridges before, but I would hate to start now. I'm invested. Alright, we're gonna start a little fire here. Maybe I'll try to find a spot that can afford a little bit more wind protection. We'll make a hot drink out of a birch tea when we're sufficiently warmed. Alright. I don't even need tinder anymore. That's important to acknowledge. So I'll leave my tinder behind at the earliest opportunity. Let's carry weight that we can shed. Hell yeah, Veramos. Indeed, yeah, Blastmaster, new pack mate. Damn straight, we're gonna howl at the moon. One series after the other. And in this series, we get to howl at the moon every day because the fucking sun never comes up. We're gonna chuck 2 coal in there. No need to skimp on it, we're doing fine. I'll make 2 liters of water, I suppose. We've been getting low. Okay, and warm up the birch tea. Let's drink it and go. I really wish I had that moose hide satchel crafted, but I wanted to get this done before we got the moose hide satchel. It was only 66% cured. We would have had to spend probably another 5 days there, right? Like, I wanted to move. I wanted to get this out of the way, because Ash Canyon is a big phantom that you build up in your head. You know it's going to be a brutal journey. You know it's going to be very difficult. And any excuse that I could find to delay the departure I was taking. But hunting that moose was a miracle, a miracle excuse. I'm so happy we hunted that moose, dude. By the way, if you ever have to hunt a moose, use a campfire to do it. The campfire stopped the moose in his tracks, and I was able to pelt him with arrows till he dropped. All animals stop at campfires. I don't think they actually approach you near a campfire, unless they come from behind you. But even during an aurora, I don't know if you guys know this, even during an aurora, all animals are scared of campfires. They may not be scared of torches when they're thrown at them anymore, but they are afraid of campfires. You can use that to your advantage. Anyway, I'm sure that I'll manage to, well, manage my inventory to enough of an extent that we make it home just fine. We'll figure it out. It's just one step at a time. It's not about going from one place to the other. There's between 2 destinations, you have 1,000 steps. That's how you gotta look at it. It's micromanagement, not management. One piece at a time. We're almost at the Ash Canyon gold mine, and in fact, we're almost at a place where I'll be able to rest, but the wind has blown out our torch, and it's gotten a lot colder in the last 2 seconds. At the very least, there may be stretches where I can avoid this wind. I'm getting on a new health hype train, by the way. I'm not microwaving my food as much anymore. Like, yesterday for breakfast, I baked leftover pork instead of microwaving it. I'm trying it out, you know? The thing is, if I was the government and I wanted to make as many people sick as possible, then I'd make it so that they got sick through an extremely common household appliance. So like one of the things is brushing your teeth, toothpaste, fluoride, right? Yeah. I wonder about the actual safety of using a microwave. Maybe it affects the gut microbiome, I don't know. And it's funny because I'm afraid of putting heat on plastic, yet I use the dome for the microwave. You'd think that would be a contradiction, right? Like, I would never microwave a Tupperware with a plastic lid, yet I'm willing to put the plastic over my food, like the dome. So, in the era of microplastics, we have to ask ourselves, maybe the dome in a microwave that is meant to reduce the spattering of food particles is actually causing a concentrated buildup of microplastics in people. Maybe. We got a mountaineering rope here, but damn, is it ever heavy. I'm gonna need another fire to warm up. I think it's fully windproof in here, but I am extremely encumbered, so let's just light a fire. Hey, it's warm in here. All right, hang on. If we don't need a fire to warm up, then we're not lighting one. We'll just pass time. The wind has settled down. Now we'll continue to the actual cave. Just up ahead. Toaster oven and setting it to bake. Right on, right on. Yeah, you know what? I'm second guessing the whole microwave thing. I'm suspect toward it. Possibly for my own good. I might be able to sprint again if I eat that moose meat. No, that mountaineering rope it made us so much heavier than we previously were. We're gonna have to secure it to the anchor point because I need to use that rope climb to get back out of Ash Canyon. God, we're slow. I wish I didn't find the rope so early. Oh, this sucks. We're almost at the cave, though. If I'm not mistaken, it should be right around the corner from here. And I gotta keep my eyes on the prize. If I had the technical backpack, I'd be able to sprint right now. Yeah, I believe in the placebo effect. I often say that believing is receiving and thoughts become things. I am a strong proponent of that. Yeah. And inversely, if you believe microwaving your food is safe, you might either incur less damage or counteract the damage better. Yeah. So in a way, being a hypochondriac, it might be wise, but it is simultaneously unwise because we fulfill our own prophecies with our beliefs. All right, I definitely need to rest here, but I don't want to rest for 10 hours unless it's completely safe to do so. Fortunately, we have enough coal to power a factory, so we'll be fine. Yeah, me too, Shibi. Me too. I knew this guy named Nick when I was a kid, and I saw him microwave a Hot Pocket inside the plastic wrapper once. Funnily enough, like, sure, the plastic wrapper didn't melt, but it was still scary, right? Like, I was like, what are you doing? And he thought I was weird because I took it out of the plastic before microwaving it. Well, that's definitely going to help our carry weight issue. All right. Let's get 10 hours of sleep. We really need it. In fact, I'm going to drink one of these herbal teas to augment our condition recovery. It's kind of like what they say, Lee. Apparently, if you imagine yourself exercising and you try to feel the movements while you perform them in your imagination, it's apparently your body actually activates responses to it where it thinks you're getting exercise. Apparently. I can't verify, can't confirm or deny, really, but I've heard that's true. Yeah, styrofoam. And you know what? Me and Zuzi, there was this place called the Right Stop in Advocate, where we used to live in Nova Scotia. We used to buy poutines from them all the time. But then one day we saw them microwaving the gravy in a styrofoam cup after we had had countless poutines. Right? Fucking terrible. I wanted to just flip out, but you can't really teach a retard that they're retarded. You gotta just stop eating the poutines if they're gonna prepare them that way. Alright, we should be able to do the rope climb after I ditch the mountaineering rope, and we'll have 5 extra kilograms of carry capacity for the return journey. Drop the tinder, we no longer need it. I want to grab that can and move it out of the way. All right, there. And it honestly, isn't it crazy? Some of you have watched Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay, and you've seen that some people, they poison their communities amid their daily lives in complete and utter ignorance. It's like committing evil through apathy. They just don't know, they don't care, they hypnotize themselves into a rhythm of habits and behaviors that are completely detrimental to those around them. Complete strangers even, children who come to the restaurant, right? But we're seeing what we're seeing now with like the transitioning of children. I was actually watching an Asmongold video yesterday. It's an extreme version of that. It's basically like, we are now committing such vile evils to people under the guise of humanitarianism and supporting them. It's weird. I watched this Asmongold video yesterday where this mother who was a pediatrician started converting her son when he was 2 years old. And she divorced the father. She filed several lawsuits against him because he tried to get in the way of it. The father succeeded in getting the practice of chemical castration outlawed in Texas. So she moved the kids to California to do it. And that father now is facing jail time for trying to get in the way. Funnily enough. What about hilariously enough? If I was to convert to hilariously enough, would that be good? I could do that. I think I could manage that. We gotta shed as much weight as possible to help out with the journey here. Alright. We should be good now. We have a lot of extra carry weight for taking stuff back up here, and we will return... Hang on, I should make a hot drink. We'll return to the miners' camp after we're done here for the carpenter tools. Not that I imagine we'll be using them much, but... I feel like fluoride is probably the cause of a lot of this. It's a corrosive chemical, isn't it? And, you know, obviously putting that near our brains is not a good idea. I think there's very few barriers between the mouth and the brain. So, I honestly do, although I've seen it in Europe too. I don't want to put anybody on blast. I'm not going to say the name of who this was, but a family member of Susanna's was making lunch for us once, and I saw that she was like boiling goulash, like a soup, and she left the plastic spoon in the goulash while it was boiling. And I mentioned this to Zuzi, and I refused to eat it. Didn't make a scene to the person themselves, but Zuzi brought it up to them. Since then, they've started to use wooden spoons so that they can leave it in there and there's not like tremendous health ramifications. But I just remember thinking to myself, some people, it's not that they trust what they're doing, it's that they don't even think about what they're doing. They don't perceive a risk of potential health ramifications to the motions they go through every day. And I feel like that's the most dangerous way to live. And I would rather, and I would prefer that you guys would rather, be hypochondriacs about everything. Because it's always the thing you don't suspect that is killing you secretly. Right? It's better to hyper-analyze everything. We've kind of given it a bad connotation. We call it anxiety. We call it paranoia. But caution is how humanity survived a world where we didn't have antibiotics. Caution is how we survived a world of untamed wilderness and weather in shelters that were cobbled together out of logs. Right? Like, caution is humanity's greatest strength. Paranoia is putting a negative connotation on a positive survival attribute. The more things you consider and the more angles you analyze your daily life from, the better your health is going to be. So I feel like it's, I would say that focus, concern, and attention are godly attributes, holy attributes, and that you prove you love your family and your friends by being as hyper aware of what might be killing them or harming them as possible. That's my take on it. That's my take on it. Me too, Shibi. I pretty much just use the brush. Even then, the bristles are probably made of plastic, but it's better than using a corrosive chemical with the plastic as well. And apparently you can get hemp brushes, so. All right, Mary, we'll see you in a little bit. You take care for now, okay? Damn straight, Blastmaster. Well, hey, real recognize real, right? I'm glad you're here, buddy. All of you. Would you eat a plastic spoon? Exactly. Then why are you cooking with it? That's a really good way to put it, actually, yeah. Metal in non-stick pans. Oh, Lee, thank you for bringing that up. God bless. Yeah, oh my God. The PFAS chemicals, right? The forever chemicals, as they've been informally dubbed. Yeah, and you know, when we're looking at the decline of the human condition, we can isolate all these different causes, but you can tell that the government doesn't want the human health condition to improve, because there should, by rights, be a mandatory hour of televised viewing, like every week, where everybody has to watch it or face criminal neglect charges, where they say, don't use metal on a Teflon pan, or don't put plastic in boiling water, or don't, you know, just... Hang on. I had a crumb. Yeah, it's I hate it, because you can tell that it's in the government's best interest for people to be sick, because so many people in government have shares in pharmaceutical companies. So the more people that become mentally ill, chronically diseased, disenfranchised health-wise in general, the more it's going to benefit the bottom line of those pharmaceutical companies, and thus, as a extended result, the financial bottom line of people in government who have shares in those companies. You could liken the same reasoning to food companies, you know, processed food. The more addictive it is, the more damaging it is. That leads people to the pharmaceutical industry. And in general, the addictiveness of the hyperpalative foods is going to increase the amount of consumption, increase the amount of biological damage. And I'll bet you dollars to donuts that in the same way that government employees and congressmen typically have shares in pharmaceutical companies, they probably have them in food companies too. Why else would the Obama administration bail out big food, right? Way back in like 20 whatever the fuck. Bamboo's a smart call. I would trust stainless steel, I think. However, I have to admit, I've often wondered about stainless steel. We talk so much about cooking with aluminum and how it's bad for people, right? Other metals too, I'm sure. Stainless steel is very under the radar. And I trust it more than I would trust eating with aluminum, but I don't really know, right? We don't really know. We have to take a lot on faith. All right, let's climb down here. The one thing that makes me saddest or the most angry is when you talk about stuff like this and people call you a conspiracy theorist. I feel like that is, what do they call that? Cognitive dissonance, where you're presenting a real possible problem, a real danger to humanity en masse, but it's so much for their brains to process that they refuse to process it, and they instead trivialize you and just disregard what you're saying, right? I don't like that. But it's part of the human condition, and that is the part that the government uses to turn people against conversations like this. And next time we talk about this stuff, I want you guys to pay attention to the amount of viewers, especially in 7 Days to Die. You can notice this a lot. 45 people watching quickly becomes 30 when you start talking about health dangers, potential hazardous ramifications of common cooking practices. Watch for it next time. Next time we have that big game viewership. Next time we're playing 7 Days to Die, just watch. Watch how the numbers dwindle when you start talking about real shit. The shit that everyone should care about. I see it all the time. All the time. I'm always monitoring my viewers and kind of assessing what makes them come and go, right? Talking about the trans thing also does it. When you call it child abuse, there's always going to be some people who are like, wow. Yeah. Anyway, guys, we made it to the Ash Canyon gold mine, and a gold mine it is because we're going to get some very powerful gear here. It's going to help us for the rest of the game. We got a jerry can with 3 liters of fuel in it. That's fantastic. Can of pork and beans. And the shitty part is, with what we've seen, with COVID, with the pandemic, with the censorship of information, even true testimonials that people gave for their adverse reactions being censored and labeled as misinformation, you have to wonder, if we talk about this stuff, is there an algorithmic suppression activated based on the key terms that we're using? Is it a guarded secret that the government wants people sick for their own financial lining of their pockets, right? It very well could be. And they very well could be using the CIA to strong-arm social media companies, even to this extent. We've seen it with COVID, so not believing it is... I feel like it's more likely to be true than more likely not to be. Just based on what we've seen. I believe in observable realities as much as the next guy, and I think that the government has proven a precedent. And one of the things, I hate to say this because I know Trump is doing great things for America, visibly, tangibly, great things, awesome. He's not pardoning Edward Snowden. And all Edward Snowden did was expose the deep state's collection of our data without our consent. And that worries me. When we talk about the deep state, I know that I personally have an inclination to separate Trump from it, like, oh, he's going to save us from them. But he might be a part of it. Otherwise, why isn't Snowden pardoned? Why isn't Assange getting, you know, extradited and pardoned? All right, we have the technical backpack and our first pair of crampons. And we got plenty of lantern fuel now. Let's refuel. Collect the jerry can. Okay, we're gonna have to make our way back now so that we can collect the carpenter tools. This game is great, Veramos. The one thing I love most about it is the difficulty ceiling of it. It's got, you can make it so much harder in all the best ways, you know? All right, let's, I could drink a soda, eat the sardines. We gotta try to use up some of this stuff. Even better if I get food poisoning, because then I can treat it, sleep, and then eat again. Shed some weight. Okay. It's time to head out. We're ready for the hard road back. My advice to you, Veramos, check out the achievement in the game called Faithful Cartographer. It requires that you map every named location in the world, and so much of this game on the harder difficulties is your geography, your map knowledge, right? So getting Faithful Cartographer helps you learn a lot of the regions much better. You'll learn more efficient pathways between buildings and stuff. And you can always check, right here, there's a Faithful Cartographer section. Surveyed locations, 9 out of 216, and you can even click Force Reveal, and it shows you which ones you found, right? So Angler's Den right here, I found, and mapped. You have to map all these for Ash Canyon, and then Bleak Inlet has its own list too. Yeah, every region. All right, let's get 7 hours of rest. We have our bedroll collected. And I will not be doing these rope climbs. This is the way that I used to take to get out of the region, but there's a cougar camping down there now. It just isn't wise to go there anymore. But you can go up that rope climb right there and get back to the place where we came from. And then we'll take that way out of the region, avoiding the cougar entirely, and avoiding the loss of all the great shit that we have. Oh, let's put on our crampons. It'll make the climbing easier. Much easier. I appreciate life for what it is, though, and I hope that you guys take a play out of my book regarding that. I view life as it's a very Promethean experience, right? Where we're chained atop a mountain and we suffer every day, but we find a cause worth suffering for, and we're ready to be reborn anew each day so we can suffer and live it all over again, right? Just find a reason to make the suffering worth it. Find a purpose for it. Find someone worth suffering for. Find a cause to bleed for. That's what it is. That's it. You make it worth it. And that's... yeah, it's the most important thing we can do. And that is what I believe constitutes the fine line between nihilism and spirituality. Are we here just to suffer, or are we here to suffer to help? Are we here to carry, like carrying a cross, so to speak? Are we just bleeding out, or are we bleeding for something? For someone, for a cause greater than ourselves. All right, let's grab whatever we can from here. I don't need to keep all the coal, but it would certainly help in transit. We don't need those little tinder pieces right there. We don't need that can either. It's warm-ish back here. I wonder if I could use that rope climb over at Miner's Folly. It might be possible. But it's heavy. And it would slow us down. And I'd have to carry it all the way back to Miner's Folly, being extremely slow. So I don't think I'm taking that rope. 5 kilograms is a steep price to pay. Anyway, we have 4 new maple saplings, 8 new birch ones. We are over encumbered, but I don't think we have any rope climbs that we have to do to get back. It's going to be a little while before I can rest again. We have to get all the way back to Miner's Folly, so let's just have 1 hour long naps here. There is a goal in this game, Veramos, yes, even in survival mode. So there's a story mode with episodes, but there's also survival mode, and survival mode has quest objectives that you can do. Tales from the Far Territory. And you can do those quests. Yeah, you have to repair transmitters and go through like an entire story, even in survival mode. So the real test for you is to learn the map geography enough to make it through the entire Far Territory's quest line. And the higher the difficulty level of the game that you can succeed in doing that on, the greater your mastery of the game, you know? Damn straight, Lee. He was taken too soon. Yeah, I agree with Zuzi in the sense that it's kind of like a collective perception. We manufactured a world where suffering is the integral function of it, but it's like in a parallel reality, we would have just made a world where peace was the goal, where joy was the goal, where family cohesion was the desire, where we kind of manufactured a hell, and we teach our kids to abide by the hell instead of aspiring toward bringing heaven down. And I feel like there's a lot of validity to what Zuzi said, and the book that she's reading paints a good picture where it's like all we're doing is living what we've learned, and we use punishment and reward to indoctrinate children into societal economic conformity, even if they might have better ideas for how we should live. Right? It's essentially all of society, all of civilization as a whole is hypnotized into a state of being, and we condition our children to accept that state of being, even if it's counterproductive for them, damaging to us, and even destructive to our family unit. Okay, it's time that we headed out. We're gonna have to grab the foreman's, the carpenter tools before we leave the area. But we are much lighter on our feet now. This trip will be easier than the last. And we'll get to bypass the cougar, which is a huge plus. Because when you think about it, we, as kids, I think pretty much all of us said, Mom or Dad, why do you have to go to work? Why don't you just stay home? Why don't we just chill and live and enjoy it, right? But it's a collective hypnosis. Society is a collective agreement that we will indoctrinate all of our kids into sharing the hell that we have grown to endure, instead of turning it into a heaven. We, as a society, raise hell instead of lowering heaven. And that's on us. Anyway, I'll be right back, guys. I'm going to go have a smoke, and I'll be right back. All right, we're back. I gave it some thought, and I think that as a kid, I kind of wanted paradise. I think we all did. We wanted our families there, we wanted time with them, but when faced with a world that we could not change, the only thing we could change was ourselves, and we accepted that suffering was what life had to be because that was the society we were born into. Yeah. Some of us learn to embrace it, some of us spend our lives swimming against the tide of it. I think it's better to swim against the tide of it. Being honest, I think that we should still aspire to bring heaven down instead of raising hell, and yeah. It's just a constant tug-of-war match between fear and faith. I think that those are two mutually exclusive states of being. You're either fearing everything life is, fearing what might happen, or having faith that life can be more than what it is, and that you can help to make it more. Watching the TV show Supernatural, it kind of gives you a good conceptualization of what we face on Earth. In Supernatural, hell is a place you go, and what happens is you are forced to torture and be tortured until you become a demon. And I think that life, our world, is basically that hell, where you're constantly kind of tortured until you become the torturer, and the goal, the ultimate goal, is just to resist to whatever extent you can, becoming the hell that you were born into, and to try to maintain that sense of innocence and believing that the world can change and that it doesn't always have to be a hell, that it can be something greater. The Dean Winchester in all of us, right? Alright, now I'm gonna go to this cave and warm up, and then we're gonna head to the mining camp. I agree, Lee. I agree. What you're getting with your pets is what life is supposed to be. And God bless our cats and dogs for helping us to maintain that sense of innocence to whatever capacity they can help, you know? Alright, I've warmed up. We're gonna eat some moose meat. We may come face to face with a bear in here. I'm hoping we won't, but we may. There's a wolf over there. He's kind of tripping, though. Tripping hard because of the Aurora. I'm gonna try to go around, see if I can get around. Okay, we have an interior shelter here that we can use. I'm going to temporarily lighten my load by depositing things into here. Don't really need that field dressing your kill book. Okay. Well, there's our woodworking tools. We got them. We got a candy bar. Several wolves in the area right now. And a potential bear lurking in wait somewhere. Foreman's Retreat. More flour, salt, skillet. Is that a recipe for food? I might have to get rid of this in order to get it. No, that ain't no food recipe. A couple of potatoes, shoes. We'll scrap them for the leather. Take the cedar. And although we still haven't really found a ski jacket, the Mackinac jacket is slightly warmer but slightly heavier, so we could just trade that for our endgame set if we never ended up finding a ski jacket. Okay. And now we're ready for a full 10 hours sleep. $50 kilograms carried. We'll ditch that. The cedar. Scrap the shoes. I am low on water. The sack of flour and the carpenter tools are definitely weighing us down a little more, but... okay. Drink an herbal tea. It'll help us with how low we are on water. And to give us more health back to boot. All right. We're ready to go. We have everything. Everything that matters. Yeah. I didn't see that bear. I don't know where he is. Hopefully he's not in front of us, because that's the way we gotta go. The world has gotten much colder. I wonder how many days we've survived. I have to check on the main menu. I can't check in my journal. The fact that we're in Endless Night means that we're always stuck in that first night, but you still pass days like normal. Marine flare. We're now on our way out of the region. And permanently, we're going to have 5 extra kilograms of carry capacity thanks to the tactical backpack. And the beautiful part is, it actually stacks with the moose hide satchel, as well as the well-fed bonus. And the moose hide satchel we'll probably be able to craft the moment we get home. The moose hide was at 60% curing when we left. It might just be done when we return. We haven't had to worry about cabin fever for a very long time. We've done a good job managing that. Let's hop down so I don't have to do the rope. We're gonna grab this deer's hide. We'll leave behind the rest, but the hide has great value. And I may want to make more water before we leave this cave. Although, if I could make it to the angler's den, there is a wood stove there, but I'll be pretty tired when I get there. Time to pass under the waterfall again. All right. Let's keep moving. Hello, Tai Tai. Oh, how's my boy? How's our good boy? Come cozy? Come on. Hello, Simon. It's good to see you, man. How's your Sunday doing? Good boy. Good boy, Tai Tai. Yeah. Good boy. Yeah. Get cozy. Good boy. Go on. All right. I no longer have a scent rating, but even when there's no visible scent rating, you still emit a scent. I have to worry about wolves coming at me. I do have 2 pieces of moose meat still, and they do stink even if there's no visible indicator of it. We got the technical backpack, Simon, and we got the carpenter's tools too. We're on our way back to Timberwolf Mountain now. Perilous as Endless Night on Harderloper may be, we're handling it with distinction. We're doing pretty good. Shit, there's a wolf right there. And he knows we're here. This isn't good. Got him. Our arrow broke, but we've eliminated the threat. Now hopefully I can get around the other wolves and not have to kill any more of them. It seems I may have successfully gotten past the choke point with the wolves. Having a wonderful day, buddy. Yeah, we've had a great stream so far. We've had some deep conversations, reflected a lot on life and stuff. Thank you, Blastmaster. Yeah, we gotta get back to Angler's Den. I gotta make some water. We're pretty low. I took a new way to get into Ash Canyon. I decided to go from Timberwolf. I climbed up the rope climb and went through that cave instead of going into the ravine. It worked out. I found it was a much safer, much easier way. A shorter, even. We had to backtrack, though, so that I could get around that cougar without a confrontation. So we came back the long way. Which way do I go? God damn. That way, right? Okay. We'll be at the Angler's Den soon. We took 20 coal back with us. That's gonna really help us out when we're hunting in Timberwolf. You see, yesterday, Simon, we hunted a moose successfully. We've been drying and curing the hide. When I was on my way to Ash Canyon the first time, I wanted to take the rope climb way through the cave, and we came across a moose on the way there, so I decided we'd delay our departure to Ash Canyon. Did I check the Prepper's Cache in Timberwolf before entering the cave? I don't know where that one is. You got any verbal directions for me? So, you're saying that near Deer Clearing? Are you saying there's one near Deer Clearing? A prepper's cache? It'd be important for future playthroughs if I learned where it was. I see a wolf over there, but it's a hell of a lot better than a cougar. I see the angler's den. We're almost there. I have to make sure I go the right way. One of those paths leads to a dead end, so I have to make sure I'm taking the right path to get out of here. Let's grab this fish on our way in. It'll be heavy, but... Alright, we got some fish. Oh god, I'm slow. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna cook that fish and eat it. We could use the vitamin C boost anyhow. We've been living on moose meat for a time. Now, let's light a fire. Okay. Well, I'll try to find that on the way then. If I can learn where it is. We've checked 2 preppers caches so far. The one in, we've checked the one in Mystery Lake as well as the preppers cache in Forlorn Muskeg, and both were empty. So chances are good that there would be a lot of loot available in the Timberwolf Mountain one. Alright. Now, let's make some water. First and foremost. Got 3 books I can throw in there. Let's just nap for an hour. I know, but I don't want to do YouTube. It's too, you know, the general area works for me. It's like telling me where to look, but not what to find. All right, we got some water. Let's start cooking the fish. And let's make sure we keep our well-fed bonus here. Oh god, those are massive fish. Can't eat all those. Maybe. I do have to sleep for 10 hours, so we will be burning through some calories here. And I think I'll do one more batch of water. Let's get some extra fuel. Oh, there's coal in there? Okay. Okay, there we go. We got a lot more cooked food. But we are pretty much too heavy to leave. If we intend on taking the fish, I'm gonna have to hope that I can eat a bunch of it after we've slept. We're still encumbered. Well, technically we can sprint, but we'll be extremely slow. I do wish I had some research material. Always a very encumbered journey getting back from Ash Canyon. I may just have to leave behind the fish, to tell you the truth. Unless I thought there was some crafting I could do here, but I don't think so. I could break this down. But I'd need light. Which means I'd need a new fire. But even then, a bad problem only becomes worse then because I'll have a vice and a bunch of scrap metal to carry. Well, I guess we could go like this. Encumbered or not, we are ready for the return journey. And as I sprint, we'll be able to eat some of the food that we have that's weighing us down so much. Well, I might try to find that bunker on the way to the Timberwolf summit. I don't think I'll have the carry weight on the way through from Ash Canyon. We've looted too much stuff. I've just barely managed to manage our inventory along the way. Oh, shit. Oh, that's bad. Bad weather. Okay. Hopefully that's a little bit more calm. But my inventory is a kilogram lighter because we had to wait. Not exactly calm weather. Pretty god-awful. Now we have a blizzard, I think. That's okay. I don't have intensive lacerations, like... we got around the cougar. We gotta count our blessings there. We're much lighter on our feet anyway. But we're also running out of water pretty fast. Well, visibility is better. I can't speak for the temperature, but I can speak for my carry weight and the visibility. We can work with this. It's time to try and leave Ash Canyon alive. I don't have the ballistic vests though, so struggle-wise, we're still in considerable, you know, danger. A lot of risk. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's the wrong way, and I have to go over there. I'm not certain, though. Maybe. A maple sapling. You know what? This isn't the right way. Hang on. At least we got the maple sapling out of the deal, but I gotta keep on going around, and then I have to turn left. Pretty sure that's a dead end back there. Here we are, this is our road. If I can reduce my inventory enough, then I'll check out the cache. Like, it's possible we could use up, I don't know, we have a lot of stuff. I'm low on water and we're still 47 kilograms. And I only have 2 more kilograms of meat left, maybe 1.5, so... However, if I did find the Prepper's Cache and there was loot in it, then I could use it as a loot dump. Deposit stuff there. God, I hear the cougar. We'll do our best to remain far outside of his territory. I'm mortally terrified of the cougar. Before you have the ballistic vest, it's just suicide to fight it. Christ. I don't think I missed any birch bark on my first pass through when entering the region, but I will check. Birch bark is too valuable. It's gold. Solid fucking gold. There's a deer over there. Good downhill stretch with a movement speed boost. Ash Canyon is almost successfully completed. We're almost out of the region. I think that's it. Cave that takes us home. Okay, we made it to the exit. I'm gonna try to find that prepper's cache. I think I'll have a little nap though before I do, maybe a 4-hour laydown. So, from the rope climb, leading to the Ash Canyon cave, I have to turn left, go to a rock face, which is presumably this rock face right here. Go up the rock face and look for trees. Is that it? You said it looks like you're about to walk off a cliff when you find it. Maybe over there. And if you want, Simon, let's play a game of hot and cold. You can tell me if I'm getting warmer or colder. If I was a bunker, I'd be right here. Nothing here. Warm, eh? And thank you for sharing your experience with me and helping me to learn this. Is it over here? I think I'm gonna make a warming fire here and perhaps prepare a hot drink for continued... What the fuck? For continued searching. So am I colder now or what? You did say look for trees. Let's prepare a little bit of water while I warm up. May as well make a little bit more. Yeah. Shit. Well, I could always go back to the Ash Canyon cave. But I am getting low on calories to maintain the well-fed bonus. I may have to just go home and try to find it later. I think that's the play. Although I don't like the idea of traveling home in a blizzard. Pretty dangerous. Well, we got a rope climb anchor point right there. I'm gonna try to make it back to that Ash Canyon connector cave. I won't last long in this blizzard. Well, we're at the deer clearing, so I know that I've found my way most of the way back. That's the deer clearing, so I have to go this way. There we go. Wrong cave. I have to continue straight, I think. So do I actually have to climb on top of the rocks? Or is it like around a rock formation rather than on top of one? Alright. Well, with any luck that blizzard's over, I have a chance to look around. But I am getting pretty low on food. I'm pretty much down to canned food now and processed foods. Can't be this one, right? That looks really difficult to get up into. But you said I was warm over here, so... God damn, the weather. It's always bad for me right now. Look at that. Fucking another blizzard. Kind of. So I can only imagine that it's on top of this rock formation right here. I haven't found anything going around this rock formation. Well, we got another maple sapling for our trouble. Yeah, I don't know, buddy. I don't think I'm finding it today. I want to, but I just don't think I can. And I'm too prideful to go on YouTube, so I'll check up here, maybe. Perhaps over there, too. Maybe I can billy goat down to the ravine from there. I can't imagine they'd put one up here, because it's... Oh... I don't think so. I'm gonna end up wasting too many resources if I don't call it quits. Alright, I'm just gonna start heading back home. That isn't it, is it? Well, it's I can't really risk continuing to look. We're just gonna head out. Now I have to figure out where I am and head home. Alright, I know where I am. It's pretty cold. I highly doubt I'll be able to warm up in this cave without a fire. Well, I be damned. Alright. The weather's calm. Let's go home. Anyway, I'll keep searching around that area later. I'll try to find it. It's just always cold, and it's always hard to search, but at least if I'm not over encumbered, I can be more mobile, get around faster. And it's near the Ash Canyon cave, so I can warm up without a fire. We'll try to find it later. I do appreciate your help, though, Simon. I know you were trying to get me there without spoiling the direct location for me. I don't need the guts of the meat, but I could sure as shit use the hide. And in fact, there's 2 deer carcasses, so I'll try to get the hide on this one, and then I'll also try to get the hide on the one just ahead of here. I bet you guys were sweating when I was walking through that blizzard, eh? Wondering if I'd find my way back? Come on. Come on, you know who it is. I was pretty worried too. Alright, we got another hide. And I may as well try to cook this. Kilogram of venison. The wind is picking up. Okay, let's eat that. As I thought, fire's going out. But at least we got that extra hide. And if I can manage, though it's unlikely, to keep this torch lit, maybe I can get the deer hide up ahead too. But I'll need a stick to start the fire, and that's only if the torch doesn't get blown out. It would appear as though the weather is calming. It's probably a two-coal thing to grab this hide. Just about. Hang on. Right, I'll take damage if I try to get that. Yeah, I can't really avoid it. We're just gonna have to put a second coal in there. Probably should have taken a drink. Alright, got it. I'm missing health. We'll just go with the birch. I'm doubtful that the torch is gonna last, but at least the wind allowed us to get the hide. And right now we have 0 scent rating whatsoever. I have no cooked meat on me. Well, there goes that. Anyway, I have 3 deer hides here and I think 2 back at base. I believe I'm going to need 1 more deer hide. Unfortunately. There is a carcass over there that I could try to get, but it's pretty fucking windy and it's cold. I'd rather just head home. I need 6 deer hides. 2 for the boots, 3 for the pants, 1 for the travois. Well, this is a shitty walk home. As long as we get there alive, I won't complain. Beat up is fine. Dead is irrevocable. I see the bear. I don't have to worry about a run-in with him. This is not the time to have a bow in my hand, it's the time to have a stim. And if a wolf charges me, I jam it in my arm. It's gonna obstruct my vision, but at least I'll be able to sprint unlimited and I'll get some health back. We might win the struggle. I'm more likely to miss my shot than I am to lose the struggle if I jam a stim in my arm, so. Well, we made it to Mystery Lake. But a byproduct of jamming this thing in my arm is I'm not going to be able to see after that. I'm going to be blinded with adrenaline, so... God, and this is how slow we are when the wind is at our back. Can you imagine how slow we'd be if the wind was against us? That would be a very painful walk. Anyway, it looks like we managed to get home safely. And I'll keep an eye out, Simon. I'll keep an eye out for that bunker on future treks up there. Okay. The moose hide is cured. Let's collect it. Drop the saplings over here. Drop the deer hides. All right, let's get some sleep. Okay. The game's about to change, gentlemen. I doubt I have enough light for it, but I'd like to craft the moose hide satchel. We need one more gut. God damn, we actually can. It's going to be calorie intensive, and the light could change at any time, but... "1% sewing kit. I hope we have another one. I do have, okay. I have fishing tackle. God, it's dark. How the hell is my character working? Alright, it is now too dark to keep crafting, but we're almost done making it. We're gonna have a little nap. We have to withstand the blizzard. Okay, we're good. We now have the moose hide satchel. That's 5 kilograms of extra carry weight all the time. Beautiful. Clothing could use a tune-up. I'm gonna want to cook Bannix out of that flour soon. Otherwise, it'll just spoil anyway. Good. Doing a great job collecting more fire fuel. Okay, we've cleaned up the floor, grabbed all the loot off it, at least all the cured stuff. We have 24 guts, 5 rabbit pelts, and 4 wolf pelts with 3 cured maple saplings, 5 birches. We're doing all right. $12 and a half hours to get some better boots, much better boots. I don't know if that one sewing kit can make it, but we do have fishing lines that we could substitute in the event that it breaks. I am gonna need more cooked food though. And before I go to get that food, we have moose meat left over I have to go get, but it's relatively far. Let's have a little nap and then go get it. We need that moose meat. We're gonna do a mass cook-off. I could prepare a bunch of bannocks out of this sack of flour. We could use that for crafting purposes. And I'll try to get more fire fuel on the way. But our health is looking good. We have very little to worry about. We have plenty of carry capacity available. We'll be very light on our feet now. There's a bear over there. And I may check Andre's Peak. Andre's Peak East and West to see if we can get the fuel-efficient lantern version there. It's possible. I found it there once. The Spelunker's Lantern. We're gonna have to watch out for Yogi on the way back home, though. There's only one Spelunker's Lantern in the world, but it is worth it when you find it. It is a 40% more fuel-efficient lantern. It emits 40% less light, but the original lantern emits too much light anyway, so it's a tremendous upgrade. Definitely worth finding. But there's only, there's like a select list of places that it can spawn. It doesn't just spawn randomly in the world. There's a predetermined list of locations that it can be in any one of. I'm just really glad we found those simple tools in Ash Canyon, because I wouldn't have felt comfortable going to Summit Timberwolf Mountain if we had a low-condition hacksaw. We need a high-conditioned hacksaw, otherwise it might break mid-cut and lock us out of one of those containers forever. Echo Peak. Well, besides getting a really good amount of firewood, I don't see the lantern here. Let's move on. I will, however, grab this beard lichen. It's only a matter of time before we need it. Well, in this playthrough, it's eternal darkness. Yeah, there's never going to be a time where we see any daylight. It's endless night. The only daylight we'll see is in framed photographs hanging on the walls of POIs. After we check the peak up here, we're gonna come back down. I'll try to harvest that deer's hide. It's dangerous. It is on the cusp of like several wolf patrols and a cougar spawn, so I don't know if I'll be able to, but we'll try. But if it does look safe, I could put a coal-powered fire down. We could warm up while we harvest the hide. And then we'll go get the moose meat and proceed on home. Echo Peak West. We're here. Sadly, I don't see the Spelunker's Lantern here. It would be next to a dead body, I believe, if it was here. I've only ever found it here once. It seems that most of the time it's gonna spawn in some of the other locations. I never find it here anymore. Maybe they even removed it as a possible spawn location for it because it was too easy to acquire. It didn't have to go out of your way enough. Either way. We have a lantern, that's what matters, whether it's the Spelunker's Lantern or not. And we got a lot of fire fuel just coming out here to look. Yeah, it would make sense if it just kept on getting colder and colder, but I think that from a game design and mechanical standpoint, they made it where the world only gets colder up to like day 50. Good boy. Hey, Theo. We shall not want for fire fuel. That's a certainty. I have to try to get that deer first before I go to the moose. Or else I'll have a scent rating, which will attract predators that otherwise might not show up and might not cause trouble. I have to try to crouch over there, otherwise the wolf will probably detect me at this distance. And there's the cougar. Okay. Welcome back, Mary. And yeah, Theo's asking to be let outside now. He don't want to be cooped up on a beautiful day like this. I think I'll go outside with him for like 2 minutes. Let me just get this fire started though, maybe get the hide harvested. Then we can get the hell out of here before that cougar decides he doesn't like the cut of our jib. Hang on. I'll take you outside. Yeah, we're gonna go outside. Good boy. I hate that noise, dude. Okay, we managed to cook the venison, which is pretty awesome. Let's get out of here. We got the hide and the venison off of him. We can eat the venison to prolong our time out here. And I'm not freezing for the moment, but I will be long before we get home. At least now we can finally take the last of that moose meat home where it belongs. May as well take the fat. I doubt we'll ever need the oil, but, you know. Alright, let's go. We gotta get back home. I'll try to get more sticks on the way home. Man, I tell you, the longer I play this, the longer I want to hop back into Dismantle. It's so bleak and dreary in a world where it's always nighttime, you know? It definitely amplifies that whole long, dark sensation. Yes, I too thought about making a joke about black penises when I said that. You're not alone. Alright, I have to go let Theo out. I'm just gonna grab these sticks, then we'll pause the game. I'll go have a smoke, let him out. Alright, guys, I'll be right back. Okay, everybody, we're back. Regarding the acquisition of fire fuel, we did great. 46 sticks and a piece of cedar. We'll get more on the way home, but I have to watch out for that bear. My scent rating is maxed out, so he's definitely coming toward us, wherever he is. And last we saw, he was around Mystery Lake, so I need to stick close to this rock face. At least the wind has settled down. And we're almost home. There's gonna be some sticks at the top of that hill right there. And there's some more right here. I hope that a wolf doesn't crest that hill and just kill us dead while I'm gathering sticks. That would suck. Everything's coming together now. We're like crafting animal hide clothing. We can make a travois. We've got the inventory upgrades. Like, high stakes. Yeah, like that guy. We're gonna leave a couple of those sticks behind just in the interest of prolonged safety. Okay. We're home. Let's warm up. Drop the meat out there. Now let's get some sleep. We slept through the Aurora, which kind of sucks. It's light for crafting, but sometimes it's light enough to craft anyway. Okay. Well, guys, I'm gonna call this episode here. And I'm gonna start playing Dismantle a lot earlier today. We spent the past 3 hours and 11 minutes making our way over to Ash Canyon, and we made tremendous progress. We have the moose hide satchel now. We didn't in the beginning. We have the technical backpack. We got simple tools for repairing the hacksaw. We can craft all kinds of animal clothing. We're going to have a rabbit skin hat soon. We're going to have the deer pants and boots. We're going to try to make a wolf jacket, but I'm going to need to summit Timberwolf and get some whetstones to repair our knife before I can craft that wolf jacket. Takes like 30 hours to craft it, right? So we're going to be working on that for a while. In the next episode, we're going to set our sights on the Blackrock Penitentiary ballistic vest, and we're also going to set our sights on the summit of Timberwolf for those reasons. Anyway, guys, thank you for chilling. Let's take a look at our cooking level and see where we stand. I'm just about halfway to level 5. very close to a new archery level. So we'll be able to make some good progress in the next episode, just like in this one. We're going to start the next episode by crafting bannocks out of this flour. And we're also going to cook a whole bunch of the moose meat that we have so that hopefully we can maintain our well-fed bonus into the future. Okay. Alright, guys. Take care, rock on, peace out, and I hope to see some of you in the dismantle stream that I'm going to be starting in about 15 minutes. Alright, later, guys. It does seem short, yeah, it does seem short. But this game's just really stressful. By rights, 3 hours is pretty short for the standard that we've usually set, right? Usually I go hard for 6 to 8 hours, but Endless Night adds a lot of stress, a lot of gloom. So yeah, we'll come back to it tomorrow feeling refreshed, renewed, and ready for more. And I hope that you guys are gonna hang out in the next stream too. I'd love to see some of you there. And thank you for that shout out, Lee. I appreciate that. Every like goes a long way, guys, and thank you for chilling, giving the views, giving the watch time. I appreciate it all. Anyway, guys, I'll see you later. Very shortly, some of you. All right.